Good afternoon, friends. This is old Pastor Bill coming to you. I want to tell you a little story. Take a little bit of your time. Won't take very much of it. It's a story about a little boy named Jimmy. Jimmy's a fair-haired boy, blue eyes, about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. Loved to fish. He got up one morning. It was a nice summer day. Wanted to take off to the lake fishing. He got his fishing rod and his bait bucket and headed on down to the lake. He got down there to the lake and started fishing. Started catching a few fish, wasn't biting too much. But then as it got later in the evening, he started catching a good bit of fish. And he ran out of bait. The boy didn't know what to do, so he went up to this log up there at the woods, and he rolled it back and dug him up a whole bunch of bait worms, Went down to the pond again and started fishing again. When he was fishing, he started catching them right and left. I mean, just every time he'd throw it in there, he'd catch one. He'd stick his hands over there in the old bucket and pull out another worm, put on some more bait on his hook and throw it out there. A few minutes is going, reeling in another big one. He kept on and on. He got so excited. He kept sticking his hand in the bucket and getting the bait and baiting his hook. He kept feeling a little stinging in his arm. Didn't pay much attention to it because he was excited about fishing, about catching all those fish. Well, it got pretty late that night, that evening, and his parents got to missing him, and everything. They called the sheriff, and the sheriff come out down the road and went there and found him out there at the pond, sitting there. And he come running up to him and said, "Look, I got all these fish. I got all these fish." But the sheriff noticed something about him. He was starting swelling up. His lips all turning blue. So the sheriff got him up and put him in the back of his car and rushed him to the hospital. He got out there to the hospital and they took him in there. As soon as he went in the emergency room, the doctor said, "He's gone. He passed away." The sheriff didn't know what in the world was wrong, so he started investigating. And he goes back out to the pond, sees Jimmy's old fishing bucket there, bait bucket. So I looked down in there. He looked in that bucket and it was full of little baby copperheads. And as Jimmy had been struck by those copperheads, those little baby ones, as he was fishing. And that's what killed Jimmy. Well, you see, I guess every story has a moral to it. And the moral of this story is that whenever you start sinning, you go out into the world, start sinning, it's exciting, just as it was for Jimmy when he was so excited about catching a fish. He put his hand in the bucket of snakes, didn't realize it, hooking them onto the line, casting it out, catching a fish. And the more fish he caught, the more excited he got. So he stuck his hand back in the bucket, baiting it. And every time he'd stick his hand in that bucket, he would be bitten. He was so involved with his fishing. He was so involved and excited about catching those fish, he didn't realize the bites and the stings that he was getting was the snakes biting him, and it killed him. So you see, friend, sins like that. You get out in the world, you start sinning, you get excited. It's exciting to be out in the world about the sin. The devil makes everything so pretty, makes it so exciting. But you get out there and realize that they keep biting you, and you don't even think about it because as the devil's biting you and the sin's taking you further and further. You don't even realize it, but it's taking your life. And so the thing I would say today is that God rescued me from sin. He can rescue you from sin. And as we get so excited in the sinning, we forget all about God and we don't think about the dangers. Because there's a danger going to happen that one of these days, sin's going to take us away. And we're going to pass away, just as Jimmy passed away by the snake bites. Sin's going to kill us too. But at the end of the time, the sin that's took us away, the devil that's took us away from our God, from going to church, from missing church, we're going to end up in hell, my friends. So I'd warn you today, sin's fun. It's exciting, just as Jimmy was excited about catching the fish. It may be exciting right now to you, but one of these days it will catch you, and you will have to pay. So this is the first time I've tried to do anything like this. If you like it, click like on here. Maybe old Pastor Bill will come back one day and tell you another old story. Leave your comments if you will. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to say just like me, God take a liking to you. Just like an old pastor I used to know, old preacher I used to know, say, look up and kiss the sunny sides of life.